Hi, my name is Cliff Johnson, and I've been a member of Colonial for about 15 years. I think God put one particular verse in the Bible to help me and probably help many of you get through this pandemic during the past year. And that verse is 1 Thessalonians 4:11, which reads as follows. We urge you, brothers and sisters, to make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. You should mind your own business and work with your hands. One of my hobbies is woodworking, and during the past year, I've been making more crosses than usual, these holding crosses. Especially during the past year with working in place, I found that I spend a lot of time in the wood shop. And I've been making these holding crosses for more than 10 years. Ever since one particular Friday morning in June, when a friend of mine and a friend of many of you who has now left us, John Brower, came to Friday morning's men's Cursillo group and was in the chair, as we say, and gave the talk that day. And John that morning said, today I'm going to tell you about something we do at our church down in Venice, Florida. And he said, we've been making holding crosses and giving them to people in need and in crisis and in need of healing. And then he passed around a plastic bag with crosses in it and invited each of us to take a cross. Well, I took mine home, used it as a pattern, and immediately began making holding crosses. And now I think my latest count is I'm somewhere over 2,200 crosses that I've made, and I've given most of them away. I'm going to show you several of the crosses with unusual woods. Like I said, I've made about 26 or 27 kinds of wood, but this one is shagbark hickory. That's not a Minnesota tree. It grows further south, but it has beautiful, beautiful wood grain. This cross is smoke bush. I got the wood from the Arboretum, and it's just incredible colors in it with the white streak through the middle. And this cross is buckthorn, the most hated tree in Minnesota, and yet one of the most beautiful wood grains. And I love to say that God can redeem anything, even the hated buckthorn he makes into something beautiful. This is eastern red cedar. It grows all over Minnesota. It's very aromatic. It's what can be used in cedar chests. This cross is from sugar maple, but it's called spalted sugar maple. Spalting is the early form of decay, and so you see the black streaks through it. And the last one I have is yew, Y-E-W, from a log my son gave me from a work site. Making holding crosses has become a ministry for me, and I never seem to tire of making them. Many times while shaping or sanding a cross, I'll think about the person who might end up getting that cross and offering a prayer for them, hoping that they will find peace and healing. I also continue to be amazed by the stories that people tell me after I've given them a cross, and usually when they've passed it on to someone else. Our Colonial Cares group, formerly the Stephen Ministers, uses these crosses to give to our care receivers and hopefully help bring them healing and peace. I've been involved in prison ministry for more than 35 years, and on each of the Charis teams that I was on, I would make crosses for each of our team members. We aren't allowed by state law to give them to inmates, but each of our team members would have a cross, and we would give one to each during our commissioning service towards the end of the team meetings period before we entered the prison. A number of my friends have taken the holding crosses on mission trips around the world, and there's an Ethiopian Orthodox priest carrying one of these crosses in the pocket of his robe. a friend of mine was on a mission trip and gave one to him. I know the crosses that I've made are being carried by believers in Belize, and in fact in the prison in Belize. A friend of mine gave them there to the men in the prison. South Africa, Tanzania, Israel, Italy, Spain, Peru, and Costa Rica. I know these crosses that I've made have reached all of those countries, plus a lot of states in the United States. And when I was a Stephen minister, I still am, but now we're called Colonial Caregivers. I had a care receiver named Tom. He died, but I was able to give him a cross during the final months of his life. His cousin wrote me this note after Tom's death. "Thank you, Cliff, for being Tom's Stephen minister. He loved you, and he loved the wooden cross you made for him. The last time I visited him with his brother Dan, Tom held up the cross in his hand, shook his fist, and shouted, 'I've got Jesus. I've got Jesus. He's with me all the time.'" Tom's cousin wrote, "The only thing Tom asked for when he was rushed back to the hospital the final time was his holy cross." I said earlier that carving holding crosses has become a ministry for me, and the cross takes on special meaning this Holy Week as we consider Christ's sacrifice on the cross for our sins. And of course, the empty cross attests to Jesus' resurrection. Of all the things I make out of wood, I like making holding crosses the best. I've always been drawn to Matthew 5:16. "Let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Notice that the wording is, "so that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven," not glorify you or praise your efforts or my efforts. So don't praise me for the holding crosses. Praise and glorify God. Blessings to you all, and happy Easter. Christ is risen.